If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. Good to have you on board. We are live in downtown Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. Very busy hour coming up. We'll get into the playoff card that we have tonight, NBA and the NHL in 15 minutes. Also a plethora of props to throw at you at the bottom of the hour here. We'll get best bets in soccer as Steve Wyss joins the program in his normal Thursday spot. You can follow him on X. He is at Meatman Soccer with the Nordic Football Pod. And because we win, and he is on the progressive guest line. Steve, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Doing really well, thank you, guys. Hope it's been a good show so far.
Yeah, let's get at it here with a lot to get into with soccer, obviously, over the weekend. You've been finding ways to try to fade this horrific Leicester team for a long time here on this program. So you have a bet on their match and a very creative angle with a prop that you like. Go ahead. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, this is Leicester versus Southampton. I've been trying to fade both teams this season regularly. They're two of the worst teams the Premier League's ever seen. So what we've got to do with this game is kind of don't look at the stats and trends for the season, because we can't judge them against most of the teams in the Premier League because they're so bad. But these two now are quite evenly matched. So it's actually a proper game. It's actually going to be worth watching. This is going to be a fixture next season in the Championship in the second division. And I think both teams will want to lay down a marker for that next season, get a mental edge, show them who's boss sort of thing. And I think we're going to get a wide open game. So a straight pick, over 2.5 goals, minus 137. There's a history of goals in this fixture. The reverse match ended 3-2 to Leicester. Last season, Leicester actually beat Southampton 5-0 here and also 4-1. So there's a lot of goals when these two teams meet usually. And then, yeah, I really like Jamie Vardy to be carded, a club legend. He scored the most ever Premier League goals for Leicester, but he's leaving the club at the end of the season. He's confirmed that. So I just think in his last two home games, he's going to be desperate to score. So you could look at maybe back him to score any time. But I like him to be carded because if he scores a goal, that shirt is coming off and the referee has to give a yellow card if that happens, or an over-celebration. And any sort of over-celebration will get a yellow card automatically. And, you know, he's going to be psyched up. He's going to be wound up. He might just get a yellow card by a stupid tackle as well. So I think it's a really good play. You could also back him to score and be carded about 12-1.
Okay.
That would be an interesting combo.
Not bad. Love the breakdown and the celebration. Excellent. Sunday, West Ham and Tottenham. You want to back West Ham. Tell us why.
I had a terrible bad beat with West Ham last week.
Oh.
They were going to win for me on a big price, plus 350, and they conceded 2 late goals, but I'm going to back them again. Hopefully they don't put me in misery this weekend, but I've got to fade Tottenham Tottenham have just played in the Europa League. That is all that matters for them this season now in that competition. In the Premier League, they've lost 6 of their last 8 games. One of those matches they didn't lose was against Southampton, so that doesn't really count. They're just a clear fade whilst they're still in the Europa League. So I'm willing to give West Ham another try at plus 125. I know that they've not won in the last 7. I know they're putting a lot of people off. And I know they've cost a lot of people money recently, especially they couldn't even beat Southampton at home. But I mean, I actually quite liked what I saw from West Ham last week. They played really well for 89 minutes, and then they concede 2 late goals. So if they play like that again, they'll beat a Tottenham team who may well sit quite a lot of their starters. So I've got to oppose Spurs. West Ham money line plus 125.
All right, and let's go to a total on Monday. Nottingham Forest just played. Big loss, bad loss. Got beat at home by Brentford 2-0. Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest.
Terrible loss and a really bad loss for their backers who basically bet on them to finish in the top 5.
Yep. For
the fans as well. And the big problem for Forest is they never really look like scoring in this match. And if they concede the first goal, they have big problems. This is the Monday match. I think it's going to be a bit of a damp squib of an affair, a really tight, cagey, low-scoring match. Crystal Palace, there's only one match that matters for them now this season. That's the FA Cup final against Manchester City. So their heads are going to be in the clouds a little bit. These two sides here rank third and fourth most for under 2.5 goal games in the Premier League this season. And there's no reason to suggest that the style's suddenly going to change just because we're into May here. Forest only play one that sort of direction, counter-attacking soccer. On the break, sit deep. Forest will be desperate not to concede the first goal here. So I think they might be even more defensive than normal. And Crystal Palace just want to save their legs, save their energy. No one wants to get injured. So I think it's under 2.5 goals is the play. Minus 110. I don't really fancy any of these teams to score that many goals in this match. I'm not saying the 0-0 detector's out because Forest might have to push for a late goal, a late winner. I actually think Forest might nick this 1-0 or something because the motivation factor is with them. But under 2.5 looks like the best play.
All right, follow the money. Pauly and Mitch Wyss in the Sports Betting Network. Steve Wyss, our guest, a Meat Man Soccer on X on the Progressive guest line. It's the final game in the lower leagues and the final match for the championship. If Leeds wins, they win the league. They're tied with Burnley. Also, you have a couple teams you want to oppose with the relegation that they have nothing to play for. Anything that caught your eye with the final day of the matches here? Let's start in the Championship League.
Well, yeah, two match bets to start with. I'm going to go Norwich -1 Asian handicap at +107. Now, Norwich, both teams have only won one of their last 11 games, so both are in terrible form. But Cardiff have just had a massive mental blow by basically official confirmation that they are relegated. So that is a really bad spot for them. You know, the first game after a team's been relegated is often a real sucker punch, a flat performance. You know, it's the last game of the season away from home. They can't even sell their allocation of tickets for the fans. I mean, why would the fans want to travel for this game when they've just been relegated? It's a real misery sort of picture for Cardiff. So I think Norwich can take advantage of that and finish with a home win. They've got a couple of players who are in the mixer for the Golden Boot race, the top scorer, Josh Sargent, Borja Sainz. And they've also got an interim manager, Jack Wilshere, who used to play soccer for Arsenal, quite a famous player, actually, who's starting to make his way in the managerial game. And he'll want to kind of put in a bit of a job interview here for the summer. He might get the job full time. I don't think he will. So I think Norwich can finish with a good win here. I wouldn't be surprised if they rack up quite a big win, 3-4-0 sort of territory, because Cardiff are absolutely done. So I'm going to oppose them. And then Plymouth Leeds, over 3.5 goals. Leeds just need to win the actual match, and they are champions. They've scored 93 goals, Leeds. So I do think if they might be eyeing up trying to score 100 goals if possible, might be asking too much. But if they get 3 or 4 goals, you know, say by an hour gone, then they might think about racking up the score big here. Plymouth, they're another team. They're not officially relegated, but they kind of are with a terrible goal difference. So the game's up for them as well, a bit deflated. I actually think they'll give it a go here and have a bit of a swing. They might score a goal, which is why I like over 3.5 goals, +130. Leeds can cover the goal line on their own if we need them to, but Plymouth might be able to contribute as well. By the way, Plymouth have conceded 86 goals this season. It's a shocking defence. Leeds could absolutely feast.
Sounds good. How about an early look at next year and what Wrexham was able to accomplish for the first time in history to go back-to-back promotions? What do you think of Wrexham and Birmingham City, with Tom Brady being an owner, their chances to go up to the Premier League now that they're one level short?
Well, 2 years ago, Ipswich got directly promoted from League One and then immediately got promoted to the Premier League in the first season in the Championship. So there's a history of this happening. And Wrexham and Birmingham are very well supported. We know they're going to be very well funded as well. And there's going to be a lot of hype about them during the summer. I think they're going to be buying quite a few big players here. And what will happen, if you like these teams to do well, get promoted, win the league, finish in the top 6, you want to get on early, because I think come, end of July, start of August, there's going to be a mad rush of bets on these teams. And they may end up having squads which are quite strong. I personally see them definitely in the top 10, both of them. And I think it wouldn't honestly be a surprise to me if they both even finish in the playoff positions. I think there's a serious, both teams, both clubs are really well run at the minute, massive ambitions. They want to get into the Premier League, but the hype is going to be absolutely crazy and through the roof. So can the players deal with that pressure? That's probably the only really big, dangerous question.
How popular is the Wrexham club over there? Like outside of that region, are they like the entire country and beyond that? Have they kind of fallen in love with this team?
No, it's the other way. Everyone hates them because
yeah.
it's not seen as organic. Yeah, it's not seen as organic. You see, they're not very well liked. Birmingham a bit more under the radar actually. I think maybe a bit of better marketing, and they're a bit more of a traditional club as well. Birmingham, Wrexham are a traditional club back in the day as well. But Wrexham are not liked really. It's a bit of a shame really because I actually quite like the story myself, and it's been popular.
They don't like the Hollywood angle and the TV show and everything. The rise has been, again, it's never happened before. You got to go back 1888. They've been doing this.
It's jealousy. It's just jealousy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I quite like that a different team is getting back to you. And I mean, look, Newcastle are funded by, mega rich like Saudi Arabian investors. Why can't Wrexham be funded and invested by Hollywood? It's just jealousy, guys. And but at the end of the day, it's all entertainment. It's getting bums on seats, and it's actually good for the game over here. But a lot of fans don't see that, and a lot of the media don't even see that sometimes. But I think both sides are going to be got to be respected. This from a pure sporting perspective and a betting perspective, we've got to give them a lot of respect because there's an excellent chance they can finish in the top 10.
Jealous, and also the bitterness has got to be just off the charts, I would think, probably. That makes some sense. You can follow Steve on X. He's at Meatman Soccer. Dynamite Analysis is always the Nordic Football Podcast, and also Because We Win. Thanks, Steve. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Steve Wyss, and he was on the Progressive Guest Line today. I didn't know which way to ask it. It was one or the other. Because I was not surprised, actually, that people hate him.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, over there.
Isn't there a Lasso thing type going on, though? Isn't it a Ted Lasso? I mean,
I don't think they like Lasso, though, either, do they? I remember Nigel put his nose up at it.
Well,
scoffed at the idea of Ted Lasso.
Well, there's probably they made it look easy, though. I mean, to think that it's never happened. They come in right away with Reynolds, and they go back-to-back promotions. It's
NBA, NHL playoff cards tonight, including an angle that is hitting at 67% of the time so far.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Playoffs tonight. So here's the angle, Pauly. The Knicks are off of a playoff loss. The Clippers are also off a loss. Both teams in action tonight. Knicks on the road, Clippers at home. Teams off of a straight-up loss so far in the playoffs are 20-10 ATS in the next game. 67%. The bounce back. Happened last night with Houston, did not happen with the Lakers.
Hell of a job by the Rockets. How about Kerr waving the flag early?
Immediately in the game.
He talked to the players. He said, okay, let's shut it down. We're on to game 6. And then Udoka's got to bring his starters back in.
He brought in, I think, the third stringers last night. Kerr did. They made a huge run. They were playing with a ton of passion and heart. And then you're exactly right. Udoka's hold on a second here.
If you laddered Moody props, hello. Incredible what happened. So to go up tempo and what they did offensively, and again led by Van Vliet, I cannot say that. And now it's intriguing tomorrow because you see Curry's thumb.
Oh yes.
How do you not bet his props under now? And good for Brooks to just say, yeah, I'm going to go after it. Of course. I mean, why not? Everyone knows about it. Then you saw the picture when he's holding the bag. I mean, that thing is massive what happened to his thumb, and that's I think going to give him problems. And I bet under 4.5 made threes tomorrow.
How are the Warriors going to score against Minnesota if they win this series?
It should be a problem, right? Now, it was playoff. Jimmy didn't show up. Right. That was the first thing. But I know if the Lakers couldn't get much with Luka, and still what Reeves was terrible. But what you got out of Hachimura, and then you have Luka and LeBron, and still a lot of those games the Lakers struggled to score.
So it's going to have to be Curry and Butler playing out of their minds for an entire series. And you're going to have to get some help, which I don't know where it's going to come from against this Minnesota team.
Yeah, it's got to be outside, too, because they can't go to the basket.
Oh, Golden State will get absolutely nothing down low.
Uh-huh.
No, they have no presence whatsoever, and then you have Gobert, who's just roaming around, and good luck driving against that. Again, you're not going to get that game out of Gobert again, but good for him. That was probably the best game he's ever had his entire career. He was, what would they say? He was one basket away from his first ever 30-20 game?
Yeah.
He was great. And did you see Shaq at halftime? He hated to admit it. He was like pretending to dry heave. He's like, ugh, Gobert, ugh. Gobert's absolutely dominating this game. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Gobert's dominating the game. He was.
Well, he was in a tough spot, though, too. That's what you give up because you want to get more scoring. But then he didn't. To not play Hayes at all, I mean, yeah. It was hard, though. I actually think Redick made a good case, though, that just they missed a lot of layups. They missed a lot of wide-open looks, and that's what did them in. And Minnesota was a better team, and it was a tough matchup for them. I mean, to think that they were that bad from three, and they still won the game going away.
Yeah. They controlled the game.
But Los Angeles had no depth, and he didn't trust anybody. I mean, he's got Kleba out there. Think about that.
I was stunned when he put him on the court.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's what you can't do. So I think he has a bright future as a coach, but it's they got to make changes in the offseason, and they got to get a big guy. But they will. They also thought they had a big guy. You know, I'd like to go back to know what the hell happened with that physical, where they flunked him.
You know who's going to end up there next year? It's going to be Brook Lopez playing center.
You know what pisses me off?
That's the guy.
Maybe 3 years in a row they could have had Miles Turner, and for nothing, just give up one of those picks.
Right.
Which it worked out, they got Luka, but the other pick was going to be for Williams, the kid from Charlotte.
Yeah.
Miles Turner was available for years. Imagine him on that team. That guy's good with a great inside-outside game and those ferocious dunks he had against Milwaukee. That guy was available for 4 years.
Yeah, Turner's very good. So, obviously, again, they made the trade for Luka for the future, not for this year. So they're just going to have to, I guess we can say we all have to trust Pelinka after that deal, although
he's got a job for life.
I'm willing to bet that he'll never have an offer like that ever again. I mean, nobody ever will probably in the NBA. Again, you have to take the trade.
It's the dumbest trade in NBA history.
Sure,
absolutely, you take that.
And now you just have to build up the pieces around it and come back next year and swing for the fences there.
I still thought they were dangerous. I mean, they went into OKC and buried them. They came back 2 days later. It's a tie game. Late in the game till Luka got kicked out. But it didn't work out this time with this series. But now how many years does LeBron have left? Barkley made the comment that he was exhausted and didn't have much left because he was settling for jumpers. But, I know he's up there in age, but the comeback is you played Sunday afternoon. You were off till Wednesday night. I don't think fatigue should have been that big of a factor.
You like the Pistons tonight? Going against what I just said? Again, teams off of a straight-up loss are 20-10 ATS in the next game in the playoffs so far?
Yeah. It has been a weird series, though. And again, Detroit hasn't won a home game, lost 9 straight playoff games.
Well, look at that tick. We went from 213.5 to 215 in the total.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. So, listen, they have the same defensive numbers as Miami. So they should, a top 10, like the 10th or 11th ranked defense shouldn't be giving the Knicks this much problems and what they've had in these issues. And Brunson put it on them. On himself, and took the blame in the last game for not getting people involved, and he also was 4 of 16. So it's been a weird series where, again, the road teams enjoyed all the success, and the Knicks have come out hot on the road as opposed to home. But I don't want the over, and the other thing here is now the pressure's on the Knicks too, which Detroit can come in, and a lot of people didn't give them a chance to win this series. Again, the ESPN jinx. Every single person picked the Knicks to win this series as well, and short. 5 or 6, but the series price was out of whack for them to be a $4 favorite, and I think that what happens in the first quarter is going to be big as well.
Let me bring this up. I cannot wait to see all of the mainstream predictions if we do get Warriors, Timberwolves in the next round. I have a pretty good idea of where that's going to land with the picks and the predictions. And
Minnesota would have home court.
Oh, I mean, it's not a good matchup for Golden State at all.
Uh-huh.
So... But what does ESPN love? They love the Cowboys, they love the Lakers, and they love Golden State. And that's all they ever talk about. So most people at ESPN, my guess is anyway, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and they'll come around to Minnesota, but I'm guessing especially if Golden State has a great Game 6 and Curry's thumb does not bother him, and they win that game and they cover, they look great doing so, my guess is everybody will pick Golden State to win probably like in 6 games. You know what to do. You know what to do at that point.
Yep. I'm waiting on this great performance from the Knicks, which other than the fourth quarter run of Game 1, it hasn't been there.
No.
There's too much talent on offense to look like this and not go off. Cat's had his moments. Brunson's had his moments. I give him credit, though, he's playing through injuries. But you have, with the acquisition of Bridges and the trade of Cat and OG and all these guys, they have to do a better job. And it starts with Brunson, but I don't trust him, and I think the Pistons can send this back to the Garden.
So money on the over coming in 2 hours before tip time. I would agree with you. I like the other side. Maybe this keeps going up to 215.5 or so, and you can grab a better number to go under at that point if, in fact, you're with us and you like the under in that game. The other one, now the Clippers, they were 7, and that was hanging out. You had plenty of opportunity to grab 7 with Denver if you liked it. Now it's not available. Although some books still have 6.5 on the Clippers. Others have moved it all the way down to 6 total, sitting currently at 212.5, right around there, or 212.
No, it's out of whack. If Harden's going to play like this, they're going home tonight. And I don't expect Harden to bounce back. The other thing I can't believe is an interim coach is doing a good job here against Lou and Van Gundy and pressing all the right buttons, which he gambled in Game 4 when he wouldn't go to the bench and it almost backfired, but they were up 20, and that's Game 3 was a fluke. And then they dominate and blow them out in the last game, and then they're up 20 in the fourth quarter of Game 4. So you thought the Clippers had this up 2-1, and now I think Denver gets them again tonight. I think the price is outrageous for the Clippers to be laying 7. Denver as the better player, the best player. Harden, who was great in Game 1, has done nothing and has been timid and not aggressive. And I don't know who I can count on with the supporting cast. Again, a lot of this doesn't make sense as well. Denver has the 21st ranked defense. Why aren't you attacking and getting the matchups that you want? And they're not doing that. And a big reason why is Harden. And then Batum's been up and down. Bogdanovich got minutes. He can score, but he can't guard any people. Powell's been up and down. Very disappointed in the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the one blowout win for the Clippers so far in the series, that's been the outlier. Right? Because the Nuggets have been right there with them the rest of the way.
Yes, right. Mm-hmm. But then what Westbrook did in the last game, how they got Porter going, what Brown's doing, and Joker getting everyone involved.
So will Russ have that kind of a game again tonight? I have no idea.
Well, that I doubt. But
will he score? Will he have 12 tonight? I think they would sign up for 10 or 12 points out of him right now if you said it was going to be a close game. But you're not going to get anything else off the bench. They don't even play anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You might get 6-7 minutes here from another guy or two, but that's it.
7-point favorite, 6.5. They were dominated 7 of the last 8 quarters, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't get it.
Yep.
I don't get it. Doesn't make sense. Nope.
All right, so I'm on vsin.com right now. I clicked on the betting splits for these 2 games tonight. And if you want to go check it out, you can get it for as low as $9.99 for your first month when you become a vSIN Pro subscriber at vsin.com/subscribe. It's always a fun tool to look at. You can compare the numbers over at DraftKings, which a national book. They have they're in a ton of states, obviously. Compare their numbers to Circa. They're in 5 states. They take a lot of sharp money. You're going to see a lot of differences every single game in every sport that you look at. The betting splits. Become a vSIN Pro subscriber today at vsin.com/subscribe. Again, as low as $9.99 per month, which will lead us into a plethora of props coming up next. This player got me good in the last game, but I'm right back on the horse again tonight.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Fun night to dive into some props here. NBA, NHL, little Major League Baseball as well. I got scorched on Cat in Game 5 when I bet him over 2.5 and over 3.5 made threes. He was super hot going into that. I figured that was going to be still part of the game plan. There was an angle here where he could, hover around the perimeter. Detroit's big guys are not great at getting out to covering him, and that's one of the reasons why the series flipped kind of in Detroit, and he played super well, and he scored 58 points, and he made 9 threes. So I lost. And I also like the numbers, because one book offered plus 230, for example, on over 2.5. Other books were like plus 175. Big difference there. I'm right back on the horse tonight. And thank you to Brian on X. He went back and looked at Cat's career numbers the last 4 years in the playoffs. he takes several more threes on the road than he does at home. Could be completely random, or it could be where this guy is just more comfortable on the road. I don't know. There's like a 4-year sample size. Overall, 153 threes in the postseason. 90 of them have been on the road, attempts anyway. So the usage rate for him in the regular season was higher than 25%. It's been 19% in the playoffs. How does Thibodeau not recognize this? He has to.
He's 4-1 to be the leading scorer in the first quarter. That's not bad.
Well, that's a good market.
Yes. Good job at DraftKings putting that up. And I think he's got to be aggressive and get going tonight early and set the tone, which they've done on the road.
So I took over 2.5 threes at 2-1 tonight.
Okay.
I figured around that number, worth it again for me to take another shot there.
Okay. Brunson under 2.5 made threes. Cade Cunningham, most points, rebounds, and assists tonight. $1.15. Joker. Should I just keep going? Or
yeah, I'll hop in here.
Joker, points under, which he's gone under 3 of the last 4. Again, the recipe for success has been, let's get everyone involved. Let Joker set these guys up. We don't need him. That's the other thing. He scored 13 points last game. 13. He was 4 of 13, whatever it was, 4 of 13, and they still blew him out. Yeah. So get Murray involved, get Porter going, get Gordon going early, and I'll worry about my points later. And also, Zubac and others can do a good job, and the Clippers have a top 5 defense. So, again, it's happened 3 of the last 4. Again, Joker points under. And I don't mind Duren most rebounds. I think Duren to have most rebounds in the game is probably better than his prop over. But
yeah, because if he gets like 11, he can still win it, but that's still going to go under the prop for tonight, which is 12.5.
Yeah. So, and I also think, in light of the struggles with Harden, number one, he's not aggressive. He's not taking the threes. They're shutting him down. He's been listless. He can't be the favorite tonight for most threes. Can't be. So I would look at Powell or Murray or someone else down, and Batum cashed a big ticket. I think it was in Game 3 or one of those games as well. But
Porter.
I'll look at that because Harden can't be the favorite the way he's playing. Porter plus 650. Not bad.
Okay.
I would go Porter, Powell, or Jamal Murray. Batum, I think, was 18-1, 14-1 when he cashed. Batum's 13-1 tonight.
Well, the guy that I'm going to go to war with tonight with his three-point prop, specifically in that game, is going to be Norman Powell. When you go back and look at what the players did for the Clippers in Games 3 and Game 4 when they were at home. So Game 3, like, everybody went off. Kawhi, Harden, Powell, they all scored 20-plus. Zubac had 19. Batum had 12. He made 4 threes. And then Kawhi, Harden, and Powell each made 3 threes in that game. In Game 4, it was Kawhi with 24, Powell with 22. He made 4 threes in that game. Also, like 45.2% on catch and shoot in the regular season on three-point attempts. That's down to like 37% in the series. So I'm expecting a bounce back. I expect the attempts to be there. I'm with you. I can't bank on Harden to even take the threes tonight. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but Powell will take the threes, and they will be there for him to take. And I can get to 3 there with him, especially when the number was plus 130. To me, that was absolutely worth it. So the 2 3-point props that I have tonight are Karl Anthony Towns over and Alton, and Powell would be the other one as well. And you grabbed the 7 right away with Denver when that number was out there.
Doesn't make any sense.
What if they win the game tonight? I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised.
You want to talk about off seasons that are ahead for teams like the Lakers, the Bucks, and others. What does it look like for the Clippers next year?
Yeah, that's tough. It'd be a tough way to end the season. Especially if you lose at home.
Ugh.
And then you were playing so well down the stretch. And
exactly
you're
right.
You're going to lose 2 times at home after you were so strong. But that's the other thing about how this is the respect that the markets have for the Clippers, but not Denver. That OKC is just going to be a monster favorite in the second round.
Right.
What this is going to be. Okay. How about the hockey? I'm going to go Stone over 1.5 shots on goal. I'm going to go over first period in the VGK Minnesota game. Every first period has gone over in that series. The Kempe at DraftKings is still 3.5. Can't do. I don't want to lay Tough. It's tough. Shots on goal finally lost. Kempe to have an assist. Small plus price again. He got there in the last series. He has 10 points in the playoffs. It's do or die for the Kings. I'll take Kempe with another assist for the Kings. And I don't mind goal in the first 10 in the Minnesota VGK game again as well, and the Dallas-Colorado game, which it's interesting that multiple people now have mentioned that ridiculous ice in Dallas, while it's a different offense and a different team in Colorado. Yeah. So Colorado, a big price, down 3-2 have to have it, and they play a completely different, it looks different from a speed standpoint when they're at home. And we just had that fluky goal to start in the last game, goal in the first 10 in Colorado-Dallas.
All right, do we want to keep riding the hot play here in terms of cashing a prop with shots on goal over with Nathan MacKinnon? He has 31 shots on goal in the 5 games, by far and away the most out of any player in the series. He's gone over 3.5 in every single game. You can find 3.5 over tonight. It's minus 165 in that neighborhood. He also went over 6.5 in 3 of the games. So he's crushing his shots on goal prop. Typically here, most books have 4.5 now. And it's a little bit of plus money, even money to about plus 110. Desperation, back at home here with the better ice. He's gone over every single game. Does it continue tonight where it's an onslaught with Nathan MacKinnon? I put a little bit. It's not even... I just to have a little action in the game, I put a little bit on over 4.5.
All right.
The one that I really like is Mikko Rantanen over 2.5. It's plus money in the series so far, 3, 3, 5, 1, and 6 shots. So he's gone over 2.5 shots on goal in 4 out of the 5 games. Well, in the Wild and VGK game, how about a couple of Wild players here?
Eichel? You want to go Eichel props before you get to the Wild?
Oh, Jonathan Davis likes Eichel tonight.
Okay.
I don't know if it's also minus 155 and over 2.5 shots. Or would you look at maybe an assist or to score a point?
That's not bad.
Okay. And then you talked about Stone over shots on goal, 1.5, like minus 170. How about Eriksson Ek for the Wild? Shots on goal, 2.5, heavily juiced over. He's gone over 2.5 in 4 of the 5 games. And then Kaprizov as well. He's gone over in 3 of the games, the shots on goal. 3.5 tonight. The over is even money. Would you want to do him, bet him to have an anytime goal? Score a point? Maybe go over, get him 1.5 points with Kaprizov. The guy's incredible.
I think just a point's fine.
Okay.
Eichel's $1.25 to have an assist. Kempe's plus $1.15. DraftKings also has a cool market up tonight. Team to score the most goals. What do you want? What do you think there?
I will get
Colorado's the favorite.
Yeah.
But if Dallas could pull the upset and they're like plus 850, that's a good market. Highest scoring team tonight.
Give me, you know what? I'll shock the world here.
What do you want?
What's the number on the Maple Leafs?
8-1.
I'm in.
You want it?
8-1 is a healthy enough number yet to bet, especially because I like them tonight anyway. And
I don't hate the Wild 10-1. The season on the line. I mean, they've scored 5 in 2 games.
Yeah, okay.
Two games with 5 there. So all that stuff, G-Bank, the best bets. Most credit cards treat sports books and gaming transactions as cash advances. That's even when you put your own money on the card. And G-Bank treats gaming transactions as purchases. So you're saving up to 3 to 5% on cash advance fees on gaming transactions right there. And with G-Bank, you're earning 1% cash back rewards on all eligible sports books and gaming transactions and 2% cash back rewards on all other eligible purchases. Apply now, VSiN.com/G-Bank. VSiN.com/G-Bank. Go get it.
I'll give you 2 other guys in that game, the Toronto-Ottawa game. Matthews has 18 shots in the series. Tavares has 16. Tavares is 2.5 overs minus 115. So far, shots on goal in order by Tavares in the series, 6-1, 3-3-3. So he's 4-1 to the over, and you only have to lay 15 cents in that one. I'm going to run that by Jonathan Davis to see if he likes Tavares as well.
All right. 5 of the last 7 games, we've had an empty net goal, too. So with all these elimination games, that's in play tonight as well. Last goal, and, we almost got there with Ovechkin, but with the last goal scenario, empty net, couple. I mean, these guys are coming out with 3-4 minutes left.
Yeah, they are. All right, 4 night games in Major League Baseball. We will discuss up next a player who has been red hot, also owns tonight's starting pitcher. Find out which player next here on VSiN.
This is your before and after story. Instead of imagining a rewarding career in medical imaging, Southeastern College can actually take you there. Prepare for a career in ultrasound, radiology, and X-ray technology with hands-on specialized training, simulations, and real-life experience with the latest imaging technology. You'll be ready to play a vital role on any healthcare team. Transform your life by helping others. Southeastern College. Your future is bright. Visit scc.edu to get started.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Breaking news at the Kentucky Derby, as at Kentucky Derby on X posted moments ago, trainer Bob Baffert has scratched Rodriguez from Saturday's Kentucky Derby with the defection here of Rodriguez. Baez has drawn into the field.
Odds? Did they put the odds up now?
Well,
is he 30-1, I thought? In that range? I don't mind that.
I'm trying to see if I can find some new ones here. You like this horse?
Yeah. I was reading about him in the Derby guide. They were making a case for him in the guide. I think it was Thule. So, not bad.
Well,
I'll take a shot.
Horse racing fans were responding to the Kentucky Derby handle by saying, how is this horse not in the field already? Saying it's that good, like it absolutely deserved to be in. So there you go. There's some breaking news, and more on the Derby tomorrow. Great guests all week long here on the show, and tomorrow will be super solid with us as well. Mike Salmich going to be on the program, and he is dynamite. And we have special horse racing shows tomorrow, and then on Saturday on VSiN's YouTube channel as well. Major League Baseball games are in the books today. The Twins game and the Guardians, I believe, still in a delay. Let me confirm that here. They are in the seventh inning, tied at 2 apiece, and there's a delay in the game. Okay, so the Red Sox-Blue Jays game, we only have 4 more games coming up tonight. A lot of day games today. Red Sox-Blue Jays, that's the game I want to concentrate on. First of all, Tanner Houck, remember the hot start that he was off to last year?
Huh?
Good month, 6 weeks into the season.
Batting practice.
Love the guy. He's been one of the worst pitchers in baseball to begin the year.
Uh-huh.
So Barrios is typically a guy that I like to fade as well. Barrios on the season through 34 innings pitched. His ERA is 4.24. The FIP is even higher. He doesn't have a very high strikeout rate. He's walking almost 4 batters per 9. Not a lot to like, but here are the numbers for Houck, even worse. 7.58 with the ERA. The FIP is slightly better. It still is almost 6. No good. Or 5.5. Now, slightly unlucky with the BABIP. Batting average of balls in play, that's 356. League average is typically around 300. Below 7.5 Ks per 9 and more than 3.6 walks per 9 as well. The hard hit rate is almost 37%. Each pitcher has allowed 6 homers on the year. And then you have this, Jarren Duran against Barrios is 9-8 career, 9 for 18 career. That's a very small sample size, but he has 3 home runs and 5 doubles. I played his total base prop tonight, over 1.5.
Yep.
Laid 15 cents with that. Total bases last 4 games, 2, 4, 5, and 5. Before that, he stayed under where he had 0. And the 4 games before that, 2, 3, 4, and 2. He's been really hot. And by the way, he is like an extra base machine. He did that last year with doubles and triples. And he also has, and again, that small sample size, really good career numbers against Jose Barrios. So I like him tonight.
Yep. Let's fade Dylan Cruz. 0 for 19 with 13 strikeouts against the Phillies. How bad is that? Yep. Now you got a total of 10 tonight. And Philly 7-1 at home against teams with a losing record. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a ton of runs scored. The 2 worst bullpens in Major League Baseball, and the Phillies' most blown saves.
And you have Walker going against Lord.
You do. Yep.
So not great there with the starting pitchers.
Like that. Not good, Bob. And then Look at this. Verlander is 290 at home. Here we go. Rockies 1-14 on the road, 5-25 on the season, minus 77 run differential. San Francisco's won 12 in a row at home against the Rockies. You must take those adjusted win totals under with Colorado. Adjusted wins. Their next 29 games are against teams at or above 500.
Probably not going to go well.
They're 5-25. And the other day you said it was in the high 40s.
Yep.
They're, again, 29 in a row against teams at or above 500.
I will say this once and only once. They won yesterday. Don't let the Rockies get hot. It is Freeland going against Verlander.
They're 0-6 in Freeland starts.
But hold on.
But every game's gone under but one.
Yeah, so he's actually, I'll give you this. His ERA looks really bad. It's 5.93. However, the FIP is 3 runs better than that. The FIP is 2.91. Imagine, again, that's a truer number than earned run average. If his ERA was 2.91 and the FIP was 2.91, you'd be like, damn, having a pretty good season. The BABIP, very unlucky. Batting average of balls in play is 362. And I will say, again, look, I'm not going to make the case here for the Rockies, but the Giants are bottom half of the league, and a lot of the numbers are bottom 10 or even worse than that against left-handed pitching on the year. So Rockies plus a 1.5 at plus money?
Oh, don't sell that to me.
Well, they just beat Chris Sale yesterday.
Nah, come on. Well, 2-1. I mean, come on.
Well, the Braves only got 1 run at home off them, and their pitcher was awful going into the game. Freeland hasn't been awful.
Broken clock is right twice a day. I don't want that. I don't want it.
Now
Verlander might be. I mean, we're getting $3 territory. That might be too much.
Well, here's the thing,
you could sell me on runs here, but that's
his ERA is 5.
Yeah.
The FIP a little bit better, but 4.12. That's not great.
Yeah.
So
he's going against a AAA team though too.
Well, look,
well spot.
I'm all for betting on moneyline parlays. I don't do it every day. I don't even do it every week. If I were to bet moneyline parlays tonight, I personally would not have the Giants in on them.
All right.
I
would think you're higher on the Tigers.
100%
Mine's against Kikuchi, soft mattress. He's been terrible.
Yep.
And his sleep schedule got screwed up, which you can't have either.
Well, so far, yes. I mean, it clearly has not gone like it did last year with Mattress Mac and the Astros.
Yeah.
And here's the reason why. Kikuchi's Ks per 9 this year, sitting at 8.04. After closing super strong, he had some of the best K per 9 numbers in the entire sport last year. He finished the season with 10.55 Ks per 9. That's down 2.5 Ks per 9 on the season. Not a great start. Tigers are top 10 in most metrics against left-handed pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Mize now, the FIP 3.99. So the ERA is 2.12. And by the way, what are we looking at here? A good 20-cent move, I think, at least on the Tigers. I think Adam Burke's rundown today at vsin.com had the Tigers at minus 120. Yeah. So now here at Circa, they're sitting at minus 140. I would agree with that move.
Repeat the story on Kikuchi?
Yeah, so here's the story on Kikuchi and why we always say this, right?
This is no joke, too, because they moved him up a day. So his sleep schedule's off.
Right. So this came out last year when he claims that he needs like 12 hours of sleep a night to feel right. And then we're like, hold on a second here. You're a grown man, you're an adult, and you need 12 hours of sleep? Who on earth needs 12 hours of sleep at that kind of an age? I've never heard of such a thing. And then
Pauly Walnuts. What every man needs good, strong 7 hours?
Whatever. But 12? Yeah. Come on.
Too much.
Okay, so then he was, not great at most of the time there with Toronto. They shipped him off to Houston. And you've probably heard the name of Mattress Mac, the guy who is, I think the guy's awesome. He does promotions in the Houston area like every single year at his furniture stores. Hey, if you buy our furniture and a Houston-based team wins if the Cougars win the national title, you're going to get it for free. So he makes huge bets on these teams as like a hedge and like insurance. Just in case they happen to win it, he's not going to give all of this furniture away for free. And so he went to Houston. And we were joking that he must have teamed up with Mattress Mac because his Ks per 9 were off the charts, and the guy was awesome in the final 2 months. He was one of the best pitchers in baseball for the final 2 months of the year. But then he left Houston in the offseason, signed with the Angels, and again, he's probably got the bad back from sleeping on subpar mattresses now in Southern California.
Mm-hmm. Bet ugly.
Unfortunate change of events. Because I took a bet on Kikuchi to lead Major League Baseball in strikeouts based on how he finished last year. And that looks like garbage now. Very upsetting to me, Pauly.
Yep.
And this is, I like the Tigers. I also like them for the month. I have them 16-1 for most wins in the month of May. I did bite on another team today, and I made the case yesterday for the Seattle Mariners. And the reason why...
This offense, they're hitting.
They're very good, right, with the offense. Their metrics, again, top 5 in a lot of that stuff. But Caesars bumped them up to 33-1 this morning. So I had, before action started today and was taken off the board, I finally said, okay, that's a big enough number now. I'm taking the Mariners at 33-1.
I made the case for the Royals, too. They pounded Tampa. They swept Tampa on the road for the first time since 2016. Witt had a home run. He's hitting 22 in a row.
Yeah, I looked at them. They were 42-1 when I looked. Thought about it. I didn't. You made a great case. And that's a good sign, by the way, because Shane Baz went today for Tampa. Right. And he had been awesome.
Derby Day almost here. Why not make your first bet with your best bet at First Bet? With First Bet, you can wager on Churchill Downs, Belmont, and tracks around the world, all from your phone. Go to firstbet.com and enter promo code VSIN200. That's a $200 sign-up bonus. Huge. Don't miss out. Bet smarter on the Derby with First Bet code VSIN200 for a $200 sign-up bonus. Get in there now.
Hard-hitting hockey analysis with best bets and props next with Jonathan Davis.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.